span
Before
out.
I graduated itself, I got a job. So
Okay.
right now, I am applying for master PhD and also doing a job. I studied materials engineering and nanotechnology over here in Politecnico di Milano, and right now I'm working for a US-based company called ICDD, which is a very big company. It's actually International Center for Diffraction Data, and it's really good. So I know people who are earning 10 lakhs and above from nanotechnology and from
100%.
it's
See,
not even and monthly. I'm not even talking about yearly. Europe, the university I chose was really, really high ranked, and I was very impressed by the entire university. And I kind of was sure that it's either Polyme or nothing because Polyme's ranking is really good, and
yes.
Polyme is like it has a very good infrastructure. It has every equipment that you can think of. It has different labs. I feel Polyme is
Bioscience.
also something to give credit for. Polyme
Yes.
actually has a career cell
Yes.
which is not there in UK, which is not there in most of the colleges I see. I have friends in almost every college. I think I would have spent 3 lakhs in my entire masters
Yeah.
without even food expenses. Everything was covered by my
Wow.
scholarship, and that's hardly, not even a year's fee in India. They give you full scholarship, which is basically your tuition fees is completely kicked out. You don't have to pay for tuitions. You don't have to pay anything like this exam fees, which is there in Germany. So we didn't have to pay anything to the college. Additionally, the college paid us 2,500 in the first semester, and the first semester is kind of this trial period where the college is trusting you that you will get a scholarship in the second year also and giving you the money. So the professors are really helpful. They are ready to answer any questions, any doubts, anytime. They will. I have to the point. My thesis professor was somebody who's really, really busy. He has a company of his own. He's running the group. He's really busy. He has conferences everywhere lined up. He has a lot of things lined up, and he was really busy. I picked up a class just so that I could actually stalk him to get a thesis under, and I actually did it. He gave me a thesis and he gave me a good project, and we actually published a paper. The entire engineering team is required to build the life that we live in today. It's not
Yes.
just nanotechnology, it's not material science, it's not just computer science, it's not just
We need chemical,
we need
biotechnology.
everybody to make the world that we have today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, all of you. My name is Shivaraman. You all have been following our channel. We have been posting a lot of success stories from different topics with our successful students. Today, we are going to do our 95th interview with our successful student, Saraswati, who studied in Italy and currently working there. Saraswati, welcome to the show, Saraswati.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Wonderful. Great having you here. So, before we talk in depth and in detail about your life journey, please introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Saraswati Venugopal, and I have done my bachelor's from SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Katangulatur. I studied nanotechnology there, and to broaden my scope, I studied materials engineering and nanotechnology over here in Politecnico di Milano. And right now, I'm working for a US-based company called ICDD, which is a very big company. It's actually International Center for Diffraction Data, and it's really good. So, yeah.
Excellent. A crisp and a very excellent introduction. Before we dig deeper, as you know, currently across Tamil Nadu or say South India, people are studying only computer science. So,
Mm.
I would like to ask this question to you. What made you to choose nanotechnology for your bachelor's? And were you aware this is a research topic, you need to do your master's and you need to do your PhD also, maybe. So you had this level of clarity when you were 17, 18, when you took nanotechnology for your bachelor's?
Actually, I would like to thank Chettinad Vidyashram for that, which was my school in Tamil Nadu. In Chettinad Vidyashram, in our 12th standard, every school has a project, and through Chettinad Vidyashram, through my biotech teacher, I found out about this internship that you can do even in your school, which a lot of people are not aware about. And I did
Good.
my first internship during that time in CSIR CLRI laboratories in Chennai, and it was through that I got motivated for nanotechnology and research based work, because till then I did not know anything about research based work, and that was my first step into research based, and it was Lakshmi ma'am who actually recommended me to do it. So yeah, that's when I found out about nanotechnology, and also I think it's also because of lack of exposure to most of the people. that
Exactly.
people don't really understand that it's very, very important as well. Whereas for me, I was into biotechnology in my 11th and 12th, and then nanotechnology, so it was a very different zone. So yeah, so then I did my first internship, and from there I understood the role and importance of research in everyday life. So yeah,
By
I
the way,
wanted
so,
to do a PhD even back then.
so you did all these things when you were like 16, 17, 18, is it?
Yeah, 17 years.
Okay, okay. Audience, Saraswati seems to be very proactive. Wonderful. Because only when you, as you rightly said, kids nowadays, they are not exposed to different topics. Because I believe, for example, since I'm interviewing a girl student, whether a girl, she wants to study fashion designing, or she wants to study space technologies, or she wants to study nanotechnology like you. I guess we should have a healthy platform for her to pursue her dreams and move forward, which currently is lacking right now. As you know, 95% people study only artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, machine learning. But now the problem is, since everybody is studying this, it puts a huge pressure on the supply and demand ratio when it comes to the employment. This is the
Yeah,
problem right now. Yeah, wonderful. So when I saw your LinkedIn profile before doing this interview, I was like, okay, wow, super. So we're going to
true.
talk something about material science, nanotechnologies, and other aspects, basically. So, so you had this level of clarity before even you start, correct?
There
That,
was a bit of deviation. I would not be very this thing. I wanted to work on nanobiotechnology when I joined nanotechnology, but then I shifted to nanoelectronics. But I would just say that that was a young mind trying to explore
exactly,
the best
exactly. But
options. So
still,
yeah,
you are, yeah, you are like more or less on the same track. Of course,
yeah.
you will choose different specializations, different
Because
aspects.
you don't know in school about the kind of work that nanoelectronics actually carry out. And then I came to college and I realized this is much more interesting. Why not jump?
Of all, when I was in school, I have not even heard the name nanoelectronics. Okay, and you already thinking about nanoelectronics. Wonderful, excellent. So then, any other specific choices to choose Europe for your masters?
I have three very solid reasons for Europe for my masters. The
Go
first
for it.
one is that Europe is not very far as compared to US from
Yes,
India. US
yes.
is like a day's journey and it becomes too tough to actually travel back while it feels like, oh, it's so easy and stuff. Even now, most of my friends who actually stay in US and who was doing their PhD or whatever in US, they do not come back to India. They find
Oh,
it really tough to actually come back and commute to India. So that was the first reason, because I'm very close to my family. I want to have that option of going to India, and
super.
I have gone to India every year from the time I'm here, and this is my fourth year or fifth year. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Got
So every year is a very big thing. I've gone there every year. I've not broken the record. And then the second reason was Europe. The university I chose was really, really high ranked, and I was very impressed by the entire university. And I kind of was sure that it's either Polyme or nothing, because Polyme's ranking is really good, and
Yes.
Polyme is like, it has a very good infrastructure. It has every equipment that you can think of. It has different labs, and the difference majorly with Polyme is Polyme also has different groups. So it's not
Okay.
just about labs, they also have different groups that actually specialize in it, and there are two, three professors within that group. So even if you're not able to understand from one professor, you can approach the other professor. And that was something that really interested me because, like, I'm very interested in practical studies. Third, the cost. Because I was not ready to sell my house in India to do a master's.
Hats off. Hats off to you. Hats off. This is
Yeah.
what I tell people. Even in many of my interviews or when people come to my office, why do you have to sell your ancestral properties,
Yeah,
for your master?
exactly.
I feel it's absolutely pointless.
Actually, even my professor in IIT Bombay told me this. He was like, "You rather buy a house in India and you put it up. That would be a better investment than doing masters." And I actually agree with it.
If you are
In
spending a
US or
fortune,
something.
just to
Yeah,
add to
yeah.
that.
If
Yeah.
you are spending a fortune, yeah.
Yes. If at all you
Because a lot
talk
of
to
people
him,
even drop out. It's not necessary that you go through the entire masters. So there's no point of actually spending. I actually have friends from UK who have dropped out after paying 25 lakhs as fees. And it
can
makes
I
no
tell you?
sense.
Can I tell you something? This is my 17th year in this industry, Saraswati. I can proudly say this fact. I have not sent a single student to UK. I don't do that
It's
because
not worth
as a
it.
student who studied in Sweden and as a person in this domain for 17 years, you more or less know which is good and which is bad for the students, right?
I
It's
feel UK
never
is more of you enjoy, you party, and then you go
exactly
back
and
home.
get a degree and
Yeah.
come back basically. So
Mhm.
that's
Even
that's
I
how.
have felt that very strongly.
Super. So then, how before we talk about your favorite university, Milano, Polimi, I mean, how did you find Europe Study Center, by the way?
I think Europe Study Center found me.
Oh, nice.
Not in a way that it was trying to advertise or anything, but I was in a very bad state because my plan had failed and now I did not know what to do because I
Okay,
knew
okay.
masters abroad was very expensive. I did not know about masters abroad being so affordable in Europe, very
Yes.
honestly. And then I was sitting through something and I saw a webinar from Europe Study Center that you had
Okay.
conducted. And my dad was there right beside me, I still remember. And he was like, why don't you go and at least talk to them? And then there was Anandi ma'am. She was so elaborate and she actually impressed everything about me. And then I started reading and researching what are the best universities and stuff like that. And that's when I knew about Polymy and DTU and other universities before also, but then I got really clicked that I can actually select Europe and actually pursue my masters. Even then,
Yes.
I was a bit scared. I was like, should I do a masters? Because it felt like a very big investment. But then I realized it's actually not a big investment because I was not
Right.
ready. Like I said, I'm not ready to sell my house to do a masters.
Of
And
course. Why
yeah,
you should, you should not actually. Yes.
because I already spent a lot in my bachelor's and I felt really guilty about it. But back then, I was not so aware about it. So I was like, I am not ready to sell a house for my masters. But then, yeah,
Good.
so and I didn't want to take money from my dad either. So end of the day, when Anandi ma'am spoke to me, she was really amazing. She actually explained to me the details. She explained how things work and how you can afford to do it without too much of pressure. And it is actually cheaper than VIT and SRM in India, and that is the best thing.
See, people, the Saraswati very well said, people don't understand these things and people are not aware about these things or they don't want to know. And that's why
Yeah,
this is my 95th interview, constantly creating awareness to people. And only I tell them, life is once, pack your bags and travel. And please spend less, learn more. What is wrong in this? Absolutely nothing. And we have, your. So, this webinar, by the way, one of my friend told me, we all were inside the home during the COVID time.
yeah.
Why don't you do a webinar? I asked him, what is webinar? I'm talking about 5-6 years back. What is webinar? You will be at your home, an audience will come, and you are going to talk to them. I said, like, wow, I can do this. I just started it for fun, actually, meaning just let's try. Now it's almost like 5-6 years. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, 7:30, I do
That,
the.
that was something that was very useful to me
Thank you
because
so
I would
much.
not have known about ESC. I would not have known about the entire Europe world because I thought, like, see, when people talk, they talk about USA, UK. They don't
Yes.
talk about Europe. They don't know about Europe. They just think
Okay.
that you have to learn German, you have to learn Italian. Till date, I
No,
don't know
no, no.
Italian.
You know why? For example, Saraswati, let me ask you a question. This is to for the audience also to think basically why nobody in India, or at least say like 99% of agents and consultants promoting abroad education will not promote Politecnico di Milano. You know why?
Because they don't give commission to Polyme. I mean,
Exactly.
Polyme doesn't give commission to.
Exactly. The fees is 3,000, 4,000 if they don't get scholarship and they pay nothing. So they don't promote. And UK, you dump a student there, you get 2.5 lakhs per student.
I think I would have spent 3 lakhs in my entire master's
Exactly.
without even food expenses. Everything was covered by my
Wow.
scholarship. And that's hardly, not even a year's fee in India.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the beauty of Europe. They don't look at international students as cash cows. They
Mm.
don't look to, royally loot their money in the name of, selling abroad education dreams, which for the past 30, 40 years, successfully, US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada are doing it. That's why I don't promote all these countries. So when you got the admission, so you found Europe Study Center, you got impressed, all those things are fine. So then once you got a call from us that you were admitted in Milano, how did you feel actually?
I didn't believe it. It was tough for me to believe it till I actually got the offer letter. I read the offer letter 4 times again and again. Same for the visa also. I was like, there were so many people getting rejections and I got an acceptance. And believe me, I had barely written that I want a visa. I've got into Polymy and please give me a visa. But I got the visa in the first call and I was like, is it
Wow.
even true?
Just to add, Saraswati, when we pick up your profile, we make sure with our past previous years, 13, 14, 15 years of data, can you get the visa or not? Only after that, we pick up the file.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people who don't come without ESC, right? So
No,
they were
meaning to
getting
say,
rejections
you
back
need
to back.
exactly, exactly. And once you get the visa refused, then it becomes very tricky.
Yeah.
Fortunately, touch wood, we always maintain, almost 99 percentage or more visa success ratio. So
Both the
uh,
things are unbelievable for me.
you said something which was so nice, actually. Polymy or nothing. that
Yeah, because
I
even in Germany, I'm kind of scared because I had few friends in Germany who went during the COVID season. My parents didn't allow for which. And the problem that they were facing were they were trying to do a part-time very necessarily where they were trying to do everything to manage and it was really difficult for them and challenging for them to balance the both worlds. And I felt like I want to study, I want to concentrate on my studies, and then I want to get out. I don't want to do this two boats in once. And
Mm.
I'm not even interested in part-time, honestly.
Thank you. See, you make my life much easier. Whatever I have to say, you are telling to my younger audience. So thank you so much. And Anandi would have also told you the same. Why you have to
Yeah,
go part time? In India,
yeah, she
I can
told me the
openly
same thing.
challenge. I can openly challenge. No Tom, Dick, and Harry says this. Don't do part time. No, young minds, you say you can do part time, you can make more money. Of course, they get distracted. Whereas,
It's very also I feel education is challenging abroad. It's not a piece of cake. In India,
yes.
they spoon feed you everything, so you learn everything, but then you learn bullshit. Honestly.
And one more thing I would like to add, Saraswati. You had an amazing experience. You know why? One simple reason, not just choosing Europe. You need to study in that country's premier university, Saraswati. Only then you will get all these things. See, what
True, true.
happened few days before, I was very happy actually. In my Instagram feed, I saw so many abroad education companies coming into Europe to promote Europe. I was like, wow, finally, you guys came here. I was very happy. Then I did little bit research. Then I understood. They promote all the useless universities and colleges in these European countries. It's same
Uh,
as in some
yeah, then
universities' names I have not even heard, Saraswati. In my 17 years, those names I have not heard. So, by the way, audience, you will have an amazing experience only when you study in the premier universities, in European top public universities. Now, we enter into the concept of education inside Milano. So, what all changes had to Saraswati make to her, study pattern for her to be successful at Polymy?
honestly, in polygamy, one thing I realized is it's important to learn every concept. In India, we leave certain concepts thinking that, oh, this is not important, we don't need to by heart it or we don't need to learn it. Here, you need to learn, and I'm highlighting learn every concept. It's not small, it's not big because it is important for the matter. And
Yes.
I had a course which I actually want to highlight because I've heard students from UK also say that even they can't do it even today, regardless of working and regardless of going back to India or whatever they have done. We had graph analysis, which is very important when it comes to material science. So they'll give you 4 or 5 graphs that is taken from different testings, and you have to find out the material. This kind of study is very, very different from what we do in India. In India, we do vice versa actually. We try to predict the graphs and we try to do what is there, and they have direct questions. They have these questions which are like definition based questions or application based question where you just remember from the textbook and you write it down. But when it comes to these kind of questions, they actually make you think and more prepared for the university, I mean for the PhD or even for the job for that fact, because I think even these kind of education is what actually prepared me.
Exactly.
So that was a different challenge because altogether from learning these definition based answers where we write we can't write a lot. Another thing, we don't write a lot in Europe. That was something very different for me because in India we are trained to write a lot. It's pages and pages of answers. Here even for maths, it's not the steps that counts, it's the final result that counts. You put maybe 2 steps, 3 steps, but they don't care. I mean, I remember from my maths exam, I had not even written one sheet
That's it.
and I got 30 on 30. So it's not
That's it.
even like they care about this long answers, nothing. So that is also a
Exactly.
challenge for me to shift to, but then I grabbed it. Another thing is I feel a lot of Indians who come to Italy don't make Italian friends, don't make friends with foreign people, whatever. Like they don't make friends with Italians. There are Germans, there are French people here, there are Iranians here, there are a lot of people. And I feel restricting yourself to Indian group actually makes it really, really bad because then you don't understand these things. Then you
Yes,
don't understand what are the pros, what are the cons, what you're doing, what you're not doing.
exactly. Even
Those are
after
the
going there, they only make friends with Ramesh and Suresh. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
make
have
them
seen it
easy.
so much. I've seen it like left, right, and center, and I'm like, you should not do that. You should actually interact with these people because you learn a lot about their culture. You learn a lot about how you're supposed to give the exam, even. It's not even about the culture. Let's forget everything. You want to give the exam, you have come here for the exam studies and everything. So, at least for that sake, you have to interact with them. And they're very helpful. They're very friendly people. They are so good. I had one of my Italian friends travel from Zurich to my place just for my graduation. Now she's coming to
Wow,
India for my wedding. They're very good people. They're really good people. They're a bit introverted,
amazing.
but they're really good people.
Excellent. And new education system, new country. How the role of professors made Saraswati's life in masters very comfortable.
I feel Italian people in general are really, really good.
Super.
So they will help you for everything that you have. You have a doubt, you can approach them. Specifically, there is this one faculty. He's been so helpful and so kind to me throughout the journey. He was another Subhashini ma'am for me. For me. So I have any doubt, I will just hit him up and he'll actually reply. And he's the head of the Department of Material
Wow.
Science.
Wow.
So him sitting and responding to every email that you send is actually because we don't know a lot of things, and it is not that easy because in India it's like the professor will come to the class and there will be an examination and you're done with it. But here
Yes.
it's not like that. You have to register for every examination. You have to actually make sure that you're registering right. And here there is a thing called a pre-call, which is before the call actually starts. There is an option for you to write an exam, and if you pass, you can pass and you can get the marks if you want to get the marks. So that registration is not in the real registration. And I hit him up at the night, 12 o'clock, saying that I don't know where to register. I'm not finding the registration. And I actually asked my other friends also, but I think they were sleeping, so they did not respond. But he responded to me at 12
Yes.
o'clock. And I was so happy because you kind of are really anxious when it comes to these kind of things. And
Yes.
it's
Yes. Yes.
really helpful. The professors are really helpful. They're ready to answer any questions, any doubts, anytime. They will. I have to the point, my thesis professor was somebody who's really, really busy. He has a company of his own. He's running the group. He's really busy. He has conferences everywhere lined up. He has a lot of things lined up, and he was really busy. I picked up a class just so that I could actually stalk him to get a thesis under. And I actually did it. He gave me a thesis and he gave me a good project, and we actually published a paper. So,
Wow.
and he took out the time during the thesis. Like, even though initially it was difficult for him because he was really busy, during my thesis, he did take out the time and managed to guide me properly. That is the reason I have a paper today from that.
Yes. These professors, they did all these things to you because you also reciprocated in the right manner and you were progressing and you were finishing up the tasks on time. So they would always love to support you. But when we don't do our works properly, when we are not on time, and these professors could even ghost us. This has happened.
I feel a lot of Indian students don't even approach the professor. That's also a problem.
That's also a problem. And they sit and complain for each and everything. I don't even listen nowadays. Okay,
Hmm.
your complaints are with you. I just sit and process the admission and visa. So that's why we do these interviews. When an young mind, watches all these interviews, she'll be so very well prepared. For example, when you said, make friends with other Europeans or even other country people and ask questions, interact with professors, disturb them, communicate with them. That's the whole objective of going abroad. And people, as you say, I did this. Many Indians do not do this because for them this looks very strange, but this is
They
quite common.
judged me also. Okay, so for me, I think in my batch there was just me and one more Indian girl.
Okay.
Everybody else was a foreign person to us. So they actually judged me for that. But then I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna talk. I'm a talkative person. I will talk, and I just did it.
People will judge for everything. If we sit and explain all these things, and our
Because
life
like
will go.
we actually had this thing that you don't sit with us. We are Indians and we all sit together, and you don't sit with us. And I'm like, it's okay. I do sit with you also. I do talk to you also. I do talk to others also. It's
Others
just
also.
that. It's
Exactly.
not like you have to ditch all your Indian friends, but you
Yes.
can also talk to these people as well. That's all.
Exactly. There was a parent who asked me, an innocent parent. Okay, she asked me, சார் நிறைய தமிழ் பசங்கள்லாம் அங்கே இருப்பாங்களா? நான் சொன்னேன், நாட் மச். There will be only very limited people there because each country do not take in much of students, but it is actually good for the student, to interact with other countries and all those things. So what was your final year project, Saraswati?
Batteries. It was actually, I specialize in thin films. So all in all, I work majorly on thin films. So even for batteries, I was doing a thin film deposition onto copper current collectors for
Okay,
better lithium ion battery performance, anode free lithium ion battery.
super. So you finished
That
it on time, 5-6 months. You wrapped it up.
No, in Polyme, they are a bit particular that you need 8 months. I don't
8
know
months.
why. They have
Okay.
two options actually. The first one is a Thesina, and the second one is a proper full-on thesis. So Thesina, they are fine with 4 months, and thesis you have to do 8 months. And it's like Thesina is for 4 marks, and thesis is for 8 marks. So out of four, you can get whatever you want in Thesina, and thesis you can get out of eight. And since I want a PhD after this, so I was very particular. I have to do a Thesina, I mean thesis instead of a Thesina because I need to show my work. Like in architecture and other departments, they have a portfolio. This
Portfolio,
is the
yeah.
work for us. So this
Super.
is something that we show. So yeah, that's why
Excellent.
I did the thesis, and it was 8 months, and I finished it in 8 months. But I also published a paper out of it later, so that was an achievement for me.
Yes,
And
of
that was my
course.
third paper. I did another paper with Vienna, TU Vienna over
Yes.
here. So that was also something interesting because I got to interact with the PhD scholar there. The team was more of Indian, but then I did not know it would be Indian initially, so I just went for it and I attended it, and it was really really fun. He gave me so much perspective into the PhD life because he's also an Indian, so it was very easy to actually understand. And
Connect
also
and
he's a
understand.
Bengali. I am a part Bengali. I am all over Indian, I just generally say, but I am a part Bengali. So it was very easy for me to communicate, and he
Good.
was really friendly. So yeah.
Super. And since now once your master thesis is done, your master's is also done. I feel it's the right time to ask. So you got scholarship, DSU scholarship. Did you get it?
Yeah,
Super.
100%.
So tell the audience, what all the DSU scholarship covers, first thing, and what are all the rules. For example, how much credits you should have to get the scholarship for the second year. Please talk about all these aspects because I get phone calls, sir. Is the scholarship confirmed? Then only I will come to your office. Then I say, don't come. I cannot sit and confirm any scholarships here. There is a process involved. So please, Saraswati, enlighten the audience about DSU scholarship and
First thing
how you
first, when I
got
came,
benefited out of
scholarship
it.
was actually low, but by the second year, the scholarship increased. So the first year I came, the scholarship was 5,200 euros
Okay.
exact. And it was divided into 2,500, 2,500, with
Each sem.
a bit that goes into the Mensa from our side. But now to explain the actual split up, they give you full scholarship, which is basically your tuition fees is completely kicked out. You don't have to pay for tuitions. You don't have to pay anything like this exam fees, which is there in Germany. So we didn't have to pay anything to the college. Additionally, the college paid us 2,500 in the first semester, and the first semester is kind of this trial period where the college is trusting you that you will get a scholarship in the second year also and giving you the money, but you have to show that you are actually worth the trust and gain 35 credits, which is half the amount of credits. And believe me, it's possible to do it in a semester. It's not even something that you have to take the entire year to do. But then it's also a bit challenging because when you come from India, there's a lot of problems that you face. So if you can't do anything more than 35, you at least try to hit a 35 because that will also help you complete the course in time. Or else you'll just keep pulling the course and it doesn't make any sense. There are people who do for 5 years and makes no sense to do it for 5 years. But yeah,
Exactly.
also, don't be lazy while you study. That is something I've found a lot of people do. Not making notes, not caring about notes, just recording lessons and stuff. Don't do that. Doesn't make sense. Then, after you have scored this 35 credits, they will give you the second installment, which is the 2,500 euros again. Now it is increased. Now it's, I think, 3,300, I believe. And there is some addition for female girls and stuff,
Wow.
some
Okay.
100 or 200 euros. And yeah, I got it in the second year. I remember very clearly. And I was so happy.
Of
But it's
course.
actually needed
Yes.
because there is a lot of decrease in girls. Like even today, when I work in a lab, I see only guys next to me, and that is very weird because like in LinkedIn we might see a lot of girls and stuff, but the moment we actually enter a lab, believe me,
Yeah.
even till date, Even recently, I posted a picture of my team, and that is just me and one more, the boss that I have.
I
Rest
saw, I
everyone is
saw.
men. It's
Yeah, I saw.
always men, and I'm still shocked to see how male dominated it still is, and it's not right. I don't know. I don't have a word for it, but it's not right. It's just not right.
Yes,
Because when we say women are creative, creative ideas are required in these kind of fields. Because
yes,
you can't just be thinking about thin films and the conventional way of thin films, and you cannot come up with these ideas. We need this kind of creative ideas, even in the case of materials engineering, to actually understand. And it is so amazing. I actually have prepared coin cells, and I have one lying around in the house somewhere or the other.
wow.
So it is very interesting, and even girls feel really inspired when you've created a thing. You have created a battery that you can actually use.
Use, yes.
So it is very, very
Super,
interesting.
right?
Obviously, after testing, don't use any battery. But yeah, I have tested the battery, so I know that we can use it. But yeah.
Super.
So then the first year, after you get the 35 credits, you get back your first installment, which is hardly 80,000 rupees, which you give in the starting just for the sake of showing that you're giving money. I don't know why you do it. I really don't know. But they give you the first installment that you had paid back. Then they give you the first installment, a second installment of your first year, and the first installment of your second year. So you get a lot of money together, which is where I did a lot of shopping. I don't want to lie. But yeah, because I didn't have to take care of anything. The scholarship amount was just for me. I had to take care just of
Yes.
myself. I had to take care
Mm.
of my expenses. My rent was around 400 to 450 euros. Like, I have changed three houses, and I have, like, one house was 400 euros, other was 450. The first house was 450 because initially it was very difficult because of COVID. But then the second house was, I think, 400, 397 or something like that. So 400. And then the third house is again 450. But yeah, so even if you count the 450, and then you have Mensa, which is 5 euros every day, with which you can buy groceries also, and
Wow.
Indian food and everything. So you sorted with that also. So 400 into 12, and then so 48, 4,800 is more than enough for your survival over here, because Mensa is also
Easily,
there. Yeah.
easily, easily.
So if you are not getting scholarship or anything, 4,800 for your rent and everything. And then addition, oh, now they have increased housings
I guess
also.
it's like 7,000 plus euros they give in a year, approximately.
Yeah, so the rest is for you
Even
to
more.
shop, to buy things, whatever you want to do, to travel, whatever you want to do. So
So
they're actually not
hardly,
only
hardly,
covering.
yeah. So hardly how much you took from your dad for your entire masters, if at all?
But I took 3 lakhs, but then that is just
Two,
because I
three
had
lakhs.
to
That's
go
it.
up and down, and I went up and down every year, so
Good.
you
Why
can't
not? Why not?
count that, yeah.
Wonderful.
Since, see, if I would have stayed in India, I would have paid that fees to some college or the other. So why
Easily.
not go and visit your parents?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Well,
Yeah.
life is once. It's all your decision. Whichever
Yeah.
makes you happy and comfortable, just do it. This is what I tell students. Don't sit and hesitate and think of others' opinion. Waste your time. You do what you like, basically. So then, what happened after masters? You started applying for jobs parallelly for your PhD. How did things pan out?
Before I graduated itself, I got a job. So
Okay.
right now I am applying for master, PhD, and also doing a job. But the thing is, it's really challenging with a job to do PhD. I mean,
Yeah.
applications, because you have a lot of
PhD.
interviews and everything. And PhD applications are not as easy as job applications. So they are a bit more challenging and a bit more
Yes.
tough.
Yes,
So
that's why
then
we don't get into it. We only do bachelor's and masters. We don't get into PhD because it's a different process
it's a
altogether,
very
and it's
different
directly with the
process.
student. Wonderful. So, by the way,
But I think it's also European Study Center that gave me the confidence that I can do it. I can do
yes,
PhD.
because see, me from an engineering background, even though I don't practice engineering, when you talk about something subjects like material science, nanotechnology, we may not be knowing much about these things, but we know for sure you need a PhD for you to really flourish or move forward. In your case, you were lucky enough to have an employment right after your masters, but in majority of the cases, plenty of my students doing their PhD right after their masters when it comes to nanotechnology or even biotechnology, and then uh,
I feel Polemy is
biosciences.
also something to give credit for. Polemy
Yes,
actually has a career cell,
yes,
which is not there in UK, which is not there in most of the colleges I see. I have friends in almost every college.
Of course,
So
you will have, yeah.
because like I said, 36 people went to different colleges.
Different colleges, yes.
So
You
almost,
spent the you spent the least.
yeah. Oh no, there was one more person from Netherlands. She also had similar scholarship.
But
So
Netherlands is still expensive. They don't give so much like Italy
yeah, not as much
scholarship.
as it is. So yeah,
Yes,
least
yes, yes.
amount, yes, I've spent, but then
Wonderful, wonderful.
she also got a really good scholarship. That's all I
Wonderful.
meant.
And
And
for our audience, I wanted to ask you, Saraswati, you said thin films. So
mm,
explain us in layman terms, what is this thin film?
basically, it's similar to coating a material with paint, but the layer
Okay.
of the paint has to be really, really thin in the scale of nanometers. So when you paint, you actually paint like at least, if not anything, centimeter level to actually achieve some kind of proper coating. But then when you make it like in nanometer scale, that is the paint thickness is a nanometer scale, that's when it's called a thin film. Now it's not always through a paintbrush and it's not like that.
Of course.
But there are simple techniques and there are complicated techniques. The simplest technique I can think about is dip coating, which is
Mm.
like you actually dip the material into the liquid that you want to coat it with, and you take it out and then you hold it for a few seconds, and then again there's a machine for that, you don't do it manually. But
Of
yeah,
course.
and then there is spin coating, which is the other easy method. Then there are like really huge scale methods, which is PVD, CVD, sorry, molecular beam epitaxial is the biggest method. So it would be
Okay.
unfair if I say PVD, CVD, because MB is the most tough method out there in
Okay.
the world. So it's also a physical deposition method, but let's not, take away credit from it. So yeah.
Excellent. So I would also like to ask you, if a student wants to study nanotechnology or material science, of course, they should be good in physics and several other bachelor topics that they studied back home in India. And does it also involve programming?
No, I don't know programming. I
Okay,
learned programming after coming here
coming here.
because I mean, honestly, I didn't learn programming as such after coming here also. Now I'm learning programming just for the sake of it. But because I feel AI is also picking up, so why not learn a bit? There's always
Okay.
advantages. But
Yes.
after coming here, I learned TCAD simulating software because I felt, see, when COVID happened, it was something very unpredictable for all of us. We
Okay.
never thought we'll be locked down in our houses for 1 year without doing anything. So that's when I felt that it's better to do simulation based work also than actually sit at home jobless. So that's
Yes.
why I actually communicated with TU Vienna, and Ritik Ghosh over there actually reached out to me, which was very happy for me. And I actually did a project with him in Simulink, and it is a simulation based work. And through that, you can actually be working even when you are on a lockdown or when you are sitting at
Okay.
home, when you have nothing to do. You can
Okay.
actually do simulation based research and you can get it published. So
Wow.
even that point, and it's not very tough coding. Believe me, I'm the worst person in coding. My brain doesn't work in coding until date. And I have my husband in computer science engineering, and he makes fun of
Wow.
me all the time. But then, yeah, I mean, it doesn't work, so it doesn't work. I can think about materials, I can think about everything, but I somehow can't think about coding. And I have not used coding till date. I mean, people tell me that why don't you code your graphs through Python? But I never use Python for coding my graphs. I have other softwares which actually make it super easy for me to do my graphs without learning coding. Why should I use coding?
Smart
And even
enough.
with Link, I never used coding as such. It's just the boundaries. You set the boundaries, you do the things, and then you get it. So even a backers is like that. So you don't kind of need coding for material science
As
at
long
least.
as things are working and you are able to
And
come up with
it's not just
solutions.
me. I have a lot of Italian friends who know nothing about coding.
Okay. Okay. Super.
So it's
Great.
not just friends.
Yeah. Great. Because a lot of people they ask me this question. That's why I asked you here. So,
No, no, not in
which
coding.
yeah, which company you're working and what is your designation currently?
I'm a property editor in ICDD. So
Okay.
we have a MPDS database, which is a materials sheet database. And so like there's a material property data sheet kind of thing that material scientists use all over the world, because when we get a material, we don't want to test it for everything and then start off from scratch, because there are already people who have tested it. You can understand whether this material, for example, if it's gold,
Mm.
it's ductile, it is going to bend if you hit it too hard. If you're going to heat it at this temperature, it's going to melt, it's going to change its color in nanometer design. Again, interesting fact. But yeah, so these kind of things are already known. You don't want to test it again and again. It doesn't make sense. You're just wasting your time
Yes.
and nothing else. So these kind of data sheets are prepared in order to make it easy for researchers, in order to, like, ICDD also has JCPDS cards, which are actually, when you take a XRD of a material. So once you have found a material, you do an XRD, which is X-ray diffraction method, to
Okay.
identify the different materials present into it. Now the XRD will give you peaks. It's not going to give you anything else. It's a machine. It's not going to give you this is the material kind of publication on top of
Cannot
it. So
interpret beyond that. Yeah.
yeah, you have to interpret on your own, and you have to
Yes.
analyze the material. So for that we require JCPDS numbers, and that's how we find out whether the material is this material or not. So similarly, even for different properties we have different things, and we prepare similar data sheets wherein I do the property side, and then there is a structure editor who does the structural side. There is um, structure property phase, and there is also IT team for us.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
it's a full on.
Even though it's like too technical, but I could
And I
understand.
am still doing data systems and I still don't know coding.
See, as long as it's working and you're comfortable and you're not averse from coding, meaning to say you're taking little efforts to master it, if
Yeah.
at all it's required in the future. That's how we need to look into it, basically. Super. So now let's talk into, I saw your LinkedIn profile. I like this PhD aspirant. I'm getting there. That is my plan from 2021. I'm slowly getting there. So, what is your topic of your interest in PhD?
Thin films.
Thin films again. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's
Like I
specific.
have been very consistent with thin films. I think from Shubhananda sir's work itself, I got very motivated towards thin films. Actually, before that, I have done a work, but it's not published or anything. It's just a mini project that I did.
Okay.
So that is where I gained interest in thin films, and I realized that even though they are something like I did dip coating there. So it was like a very fun experience over there. But then that's when I realized that even though it's something so simple, it's so important. And then I understood the difficulties of the thin film coatings and the problems that come from thin film coatings and the uses of it. Like even in transistors today's date, we actually have thin films. It's no more materials and chunks of materials into a transistor, because I've done a paper on transistors also. The
Mm.
TUVNA paper is on transistors. It's all in nanometer. Nothing is beyond that. So even lasers, everywhere we have nanometer range things
Yes,
going
of
on.
course. That's why it's nanotechnology. It's like
Yeah. So
super
but
duper
we
thin.
don't realize that we have so much nanotechnology all around the world. We actually, ignore it, like, okay, yeah, we don't realize half of the things. Like even the Wi-Fi wires nowadays are fiber optic cables. Fiber optics is nanophotonics.
Yes.
Nobody realizes all
Everywhere.
these things. These things are just left
Everywhere.
lost. And there's a reason why we use nanophotonics and not nanoelectronics, because nanoelectronics comes to the point where we have tunneling after a particular. So like if you reduce the size of it too much, after a point we have electrons that skip out of the material, and
Okay.
we have heating because of that.
Okay.
And this is the reason why we shift to nanophotonics. So these things are things that we actually often avoid. And
Mm.
it's something that me and my husband always say, because we are from different engineering backgrounds.
Yes, of
The
course.
entire engineering team is required to build the life that we live in today. It's not
Yes.
just nanotechnology, it's not material science, it's not just computer science, it's not just,
We need chemical,
we need
biotechnology.
everybody to make the world that we have today. It's a
That is why
very
this is the point I said, Saraswati, at the beginning of this interview. Not everybody studying computer science, we are not going to reach here. And we'll be still more and more dependent on foreign countries, even for fundamental things, gadgets and other things. We are still exporting, right? This is what I wanted to change. That's why I told you people should
the
study
thing about in
what
India.
they want.
I think we need more awareness about it, because people don't realize. Even he did not know about the fact that nanotechnology is even a course. They were shocked that nanotechnology is even a course. Forget anything else. They didn't even know what is nanotechnology. We need more awareness on these kind of subjects.
As
We
you
need.
rightly said, we should start at least kind of a pre-talk at the school level when they enter the
Yeah.
11th standard. Instead of just pushing them for this JW coaching and all these things, people go in lakhs and lakhs. I guess at least first of all, they should know what is what, and at least a small introduction, so that
Very true.
they could figure out, like Saraswati, and pick up
Mm.
interest right from their 16, 17, 18 years. I guess It's kind of
Yeah, that is the
figuring out what you
best
want to
time
do
to
with your
ask.
life. Yeah, super.
Because then you have chosen your college and then you can't do anything. You're just stuck with the entire thing for no reason. And I actually know a lot of people who have done CSE who are actually not interested and are dropping out even now. They just did
Yes,
CSE because they
big
heard there's
time.
too much money in CSE and stuff like that. But honestly, over here, I know people who are earning 10 lakhs and above from nanotechnology and from
100%. Nirma.
it's
See,
not even and monthly. I'm not even talking about yearly. I'm
I
talking
am
about
with you.
monthly.
I am with you on this. This is what I have been, especially last 4 5 years. I've been requesting my parents and students choose different departments based on your interest, please. You are interested in economics, please choose. What is wrong in studying economics? And you
I
can
feel in
always
other
do your
departments we
PhD.
have slower pay. Slower, I mean, in the sense you have to do PhD, you have to do things. But
Yes,
then after that, you do get pay. It's not like you don't get pay.
100%.
In
100%.
CSE, it's just a BTech. Right after BTech, you get a number of cash flows. But then after a point, there's a saturation in that also. You don't realize it. That's all.
This is why in India nowadays, when Monday comes, they dream of Friday. And when Friday comes, they fear of Monday. And this is a vicious circle, and this loop never ends actually. And I cannot do a work. For example, today alone, you are my first interview. I have 4 more to do. If I am not so very passionate, I would have not reached this 100 odd interviews. It's just not possible. We have to love what we do, basically. That is when I guess life becomes more beautiful. Yeah. So then a little bit about your parents. So how happy they are looking at how your journey is panning out, right from the decision of studying, planning to study in Milano. How happy they are right now.
They have stopped thinking about me.
They
They
felt
are
like
like, this
she's
girl is going
done.
to
She's
study.
fine.
Yeah, they have legit stopped thinking about me because they saw that I was very, very interested in studying and they saw that I'm actually doing it also. It's not like I'm not doing it and I'm sitting with the course or anything like that. I was the first one to graduate among all the Indians in Polymy.
Super. Super.
So, though there was one more student with me, but yeah, around the first one because we had like around 10, 12 boys
Super.
again.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there is a ratio difference, and I still want to change that. I want to do something for that, but let's see.
Let's see.
I
Yeah,
don't know
sure.
what
Why
to
not?
do.
And just to add to that, Europe Study Center is a woman empowered organization, 99%.
Yeah, but
So
we still need girls from India, from everywhere, to actually come
everywhere,
and
yeah,
do
for
engineering.
research or all parameters. So
Mhm.
audience, as per Saraswati's wish and will, let's all make this happen. Girls
It's
at
not
least
just
50%.
architecture and culinary things that girls can go into. Girls can do this
Why
also. This
not?
is not that.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, it's
Why not?
not like if you can do architecture, why can't you do this? This is also the same thing. There is
Yes,
not much your architect. Okay, actually, lithography is the same thing.
same
On
thing.
lithography, you're actually doing the same thing. Like when you're making a motherboard for a device, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same architecture onto a silicon wafer. That's all.
That's it.
So I don't
And
know.
if somebody watches this interview, right after their school, they pick up nanotechnology just because of this interview, I am
I would
sure
be very
Saraswati is going to
happy.
be very happy.
Yeah. Because people don't know. Like even now, at times, I actually feel like I want to go to schools and do this in India, not here. And I hardly spend that much time in India, so it's not possible
Yes,
because it's always my
definitely.
parents pulling me here and there.
Busy,
Uh,
busy, busy life. Yes. So then,
but
which is any country in your mind for your PhD? Anything of your choice?
Italy. I love Italy. I am partial to Italy. Italians are amazing. They are super friendly. They are not judgmental. They will actually. I have had people who will walk to you and they don't know you. They don't know your name. They don't know anything about you. They'll just come to you. They'll compliment you for your perfume and walk away. And you have such a good day by just that one action. And it's not just this. Like you even walk into a cafe, you actually can talk to people and people will talk to you. They don't have any ego that you don't know the language. Some people might
Nothing.
not genuinely know English, so they will not try to, but that happens in India also. Like
Yes.
even in Tamil Nadu, you can have that problem with Hindi, or even in North India, you have that problem with Tamil. So
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
something that I've faced everywhere. And I have studied not only in Chennai, but I've also studied in Bombay and Kolkata. So I've
Wow.
already faced that as a child.
Nice.
So it's not something that I actually find like it's a fault. It's their this thing. They don't know English, and it's okay. And I don't know Italian. It's my fault also. You can't just blame them. But yeah,
But we
uh,
live in a world, Saraswati. we always blame others actually. Every thing, we always keep blaming.
I
We, in
kind
a
of want
sense,
to learn
as a
Italian.
whole, I mean, many things we always, I have seen few people, sir, I heard there was a comment in one of my interviews where a parent had written, oh, please don't go to Polymy. You cannot finish degree on time. My son did not, finish it on time. He worked really hard. Excuse me. It is your son's, what to say?
See, also there are some parents who think that their kids are really, really good at education. That happens even in JEE level. There are people who graduate with 50% in their bachelor's, sorry, in their 11th and 12th, and then they want that, no, my son will go to JEE. I actually have these kind of
Yes.
people in my family also. They kind of think that, no, my son will go for NEET and my son will do NEET. And I'm like, he got 60% marks. What are you talking about? Some people are not cut off. They are not interested. Just because your parents are doctors, you can't expect the son to be a doctor. Doesn't make sense.
At least Saraswati, let them think about their son or daughter, whatever they feel like, okay? Their
They'll put
child,
it on others
their
also.
money, but don't start advising others. It's difficult. You don't go because my son did not do. That I feel is like,
I won't blame the students as well over here because it's not the students' mistakes. Every student has their own capability and they come with that capability. They come with that interest. Now, Indian parents forcing students to do engineering or doctorate or whatever, you can't expect the same outcome. Unless or until they are actually interested in it, you can't.
yes,
Then you can rather do an MBA, and even Polymy offers that also. It's really
that
good
also,
college
yes.
for MBA also. Yeah. So go do an MBA and be happy.
Polymy is amazing. Polymy is amazing. Super. See, so much clarity and value that you have added in this interview. Because when you talk all these experiences, that too after going through so much, meaning you face all these hardships, finishing up the degrees, projects,
People
doing your
wanted me to be a
final.
doctor. I've
Pardon me?
actually heard, be a doctor. What will you do? Be an engineer? I was like, okay, I don't want to be a doctor. Sorry, I can't see blood.
Because we have to do what we love to do. Just because somebody else is said, or just because everybody is doing it, I don't feel we should pick up all those things. So, at what level your PhDs are right now? The applications going on, contacting universities?
Honestly, I can do only 2 applications in a week, so it's not like a lot because I even today I came back from Rome today. I was in Rome yesterday for a meeting with ICDD, and I had like a 4 to 5 hours meeting, and then I came today. So today I'm
In
having the
between,
interview with you.
yeah, in
Tomorrow,
between that, you gave me 1 hour. I'm so grateful and thankful to you.
it's fine.
I'm
I'm
sure
more than grateful to do
people,
it because I know that ESC has a very big role for me
thank
to
you.
be here today's date.
Great. I learned a lot of technical terms, and also I will tell the audience certain technical terms which she said I could not understand. But those people, no, I want to be very frank. See, those people in this domain, you guys will surely understand and work accordingly. And of course, I will do the research and update.
Watch Big Bang Theory. That's something I actually recommend people or Young Sheldon because through Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory, it's two series that I actually have rewatched so many times I can't even tell you. But these two series actually teach you so much about material science, nanoscience, nanophotonics,
Wow.
particle physics, and a lot of things. Instead of watching just series which don't make any sense into your life, will never make a sense into your life, watch these kind of series that actually give you knowledge, and it's actually amazing to work with.
Excellent. Great talking to you. We discussed lot many things, and I will not take much of your time. And I'm waiting for a message. I will add you into my LinkedIn. I will be waiting for the message or some update on your profile that you are into PhD, and we will do the part 2 of this.
After
Uh,
this.
once I going to call you Dr. Saraswati. Okay, that will be the part 2 of this. We will do
Sure.
it in the upcoming years. Maybe I come to Italy and we do it there in a coffee shop,
Yeah,
something like
no
that.
more.
We will
You're
surely
always
do this. We will surely do this. And we want people to get inspired into nanotechnology, material science. That is the whole objective of doing these interviews. And you were just mentioning 3, 4 times, your wedding is upcoming. So best wishes
thank you
for
so
that.
much.
Convey our regards to your better half also. And all the best to you. You're entering into you know, a
New
different
face of
phase
life.
of life, and best wishes from ESC
With
and
an
its
engineer.
ESC and its
But
staff members. And entire almost 1 hour 8 minutes. Your energy levels have always been at the top. Actually, you had so much energy and enthusiasm and aura in explaining this to our audience. And I'm sure
It's something I love, so I want people to love it as well.
super, super. And I'm sure if anybody gets inspired and you want to take up nanotechnology, please send this message to her LinkedIn inbox. Saraswati will
I'm
read
ready
it.
to help.
She'll
I'm
be
ready
very
to help
happy.
anyway.
Yes, and if it's a girl student, she will be on cloud nine for sure.
I have a bit of partiality. I'm sorry.
What did you say? You said, I want it to be equal.
Equal, yeah.
We have
That's all.
100 researchers. Let it be 50 girls and 50 boys.
Not 50-50, at least 70-30. I want at least 70-30. It's not too much to ask for.
Let's aim for 50-50. We at least reach 70-30.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
but right
Ma.
now the state is very poor.
Thank you so
Thank you
much. Great talking to you. I learned a lot of things. Best wishes to you. And
Thank you.
I will await for the part 2. Loading.
Sure.
Dr. Saraswati, we will do the interview. Yeah. All the best. Take care. Thank you so much. All the best. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.